Hi everybody. I'm here with Danny. Hi Danny.
Hi.
And Zoe from the National Forest. You all right, Zoe?
Hello.
Hi. And we're just here to do a little bit of a wrap up for this year's Run for the Trees and tell you who's won what with all the awards actually. So as before we get onto that, just I guess I know we said it a few times, but just a big thank you to everybody who's got involved. As I said at the outset, we were a bit apprehensive whether many people would be interested this year with things back to, I guess, a little bit more normal than they were last year with lockdown. But absolutely blown away again. 317, is that right, Danny? Number of people taking part?
Yeah, that's what I've got, 317.
Yeah, well, when we say people, a few hounds as well.
Quite a few, I think, this year.
Yeah. So between everybody, we've been more than a lap of the whole planet. I think we've made it to 26,000 something miles. Still a little bit of change coming in. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. I've enjoyed taking part myself. I guess it's the good thing about this kind of event, other than normal races, you can sort of organise it and get out there and run it yourself. So yeah, how have you? Because you've been taking part as well, Zoe. How have you found it this year?
I have, Andy. Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I wasn't entirely sure how much movement or how many miles I'd actually be able to cover, having still sort of recovering from the 100-miler. So I got my Lime Award on Monday night, so that was brilliant. No, I've loved it because what I really like is the kind of the chat on the socials about it and everyone kind of sharing their their experiences and their sort of highlights and stuff. So that makes it for me. That really does.
Yeah. What about you, Danny?
Yeah, I've completed on Monday night, same as you, Zoe. I completed the Oak Challenge, so I got my last mile in that I needed to on Monday. And yeah, I think what I've really enjoyed this year is the guided runs as well. It's been really nice to kind of meet up with other people that are doing Run for the Trees, and of course just the peak running community. It's like, even though we're running on our own, it's so nice just being able to kind of share photos and let everyone know what we've been up to. It feels like you're not running on your own actually, even though most of the training has been.
Yeah. No, it's been really good this year. We've been able to have sort of all those events where we've had to be able to run people to run with other people. I've really sort of enjoyed those, showing people bits of the forest they've not seen before, and do it different times of the day as well. Some of them in the dark, visiting some interesting trees. Yeah, that's been really good. So it's been nice to sort of have both the online community as well as sort of the real life community out there as well, hasn't it? Cool. So I guess the other thing I just want to say before we get onto the awards, in terms of the awards that everybody's getting, your coasters, etc., they're starting to be processed. So some people probably have them already. There was a big batch went out yesterday as well. But there's a little bit of an interlude now while we take delivery of the final order, because obviously we didn't know exactly how many we needed until people were a long way through the challenge. So we should be taking delivery of those at some point next week, at which point we'll be able to start getting everything else out. So if you don't receive yours for a few days, don't worry, we haven't forgot about you. Everybody's award will be on the way to them, but it'll probably be sometime week commencing the 14th of March, when that next batch. So if you don't get them sort of tomorrow, it will be just over a week, but they will be with you as quick as we can. Cool. So let's I'll share my screen because we've got some pictures and stuff to show you. So first of all, we're just going to talk about, I guess, the community awards, the things that aren't specifically about running. Danny's going to take us through them, and then we'll talk about the more running related awards. So I hope everybody can see that.
Yep, I can see it.
Yeah. So I didn't say, did I? I said we've covered 26,000 miles. But yeah, we've sort of, that means we'd achieved in terms of miles running and walking 131 trees out of the 142 pledged. But obviously, because everybody paid their entry fee for that, we will actually be planting 142. So the money for 142 will be coming to the forest any minute now, to get those planted. And we may have a chat as we go along about where they'll be planted next year as well, because it'll be a few months before they go in the ground. So far as the community awards, Danny, do you want to tell us who's won what?
Yeah, I will do. So I
Right.
think this is all new news to most of the peak running community, apart from the photo awards, which obviously people knew about. I think the next ones are all exciting new stuff. So
Yeah.
brace yourselves. We've got
Yeah,
up
get
next,
yourself
the
a beer, Kev.
Yeah. This is a photo courtesy of Kev. I stole it because I thought this looked like a good celebration photo.
Yeah. Was that getting them after the bash or something? Where
It was after the
warming
bash,
up?
yeah.
Yeah, having a well-deserved beer by the look of it. Right, so first one.
Oh, so first up was my favourite award, the Bestest Bark Award. I did want to give this to just every dog that took part, and all the dogs that didn't take part, but just we just had photos of during the month, because obviously all of them are very sweet. But we decided to give the Bestest Bark Award to Alfie Dean, mainly because he was the first participant to finish the Cherry Challenge, and he's tiny. So we thought that was a good reason to award him this. He's also been on loads of the Run for the Trees guided events, and he's had his photo taken numerous times during the month.
Yeah.
And there he is with his Cherry Award. I think he was a bit annoyed with Julie about, because Julie picked it up without him.
Yeah, we took it to the run to give it to him, and he didn't show
Yeah.
that run, but he's looking.
No.
Not there, isn't he?
So I think he was a bit annoyed, but he's got his cherry coaster.
Yeah, well done.
And he'll have
Alfie.
another award now in the post.
Excellent. So, and next up.
Okay, so the winner of the Furthest Away Award is Amy Thompson, who lives in Norway. She completed the Cherry Challenge in the end. I think due to kind of a bit of illness, she didn't quite meet the Lime Challenge, but she still managed to get in over 60 odd miles. And she's put in some lovely photos as well from a kind of all different things. She put in this one on the first day of Run for the Trees, that's on the screen, but she also took some lovely kind of snowy pictures. She took a picture on a running track. I think she's been to loads of different environments as well. So yeah, it's a nice award for Amy to receive.
Yeah, brilliant. So certainly some great photos. Yeah, and the second time Amy got involved, because she was involved in it last year as well, which is great. Yeah. I think she contacted saying, "Am I allowed? Because I'm in Norway." So of course you are. No, there's no limit.
Oh, brilliant. We can be international. I wonder if we could do a twinning with Norway. I don't mind going over and taking one for the team.
Plenty of nice trees in Norway, isn't there? So
Yeah.
We'll wait our invite, shall we? Okay, so what's next?
Okay, the Strava Art Award. So this has to go to Kev. He made a lot of effort with this. He did a Valentine's Day special, which was the one in the image where you can see Run for the Trees. I think he also did a dog at one point. I did joke that he looked a little bit like Roadkill, not really a dog, but he did try. And I think he's done 3 or 4 actually of the Strava arts. And to be honest, he's the only person that's submitted any. I think other people might have done some and thought it's not worthy of submission, but Kev's kind of persevered with it. So he's a definite winner of the Strava Art Award.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, particularly doing it on Valentine's Day as well. So I bet he got some brownie points at home for that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well done, Kev. And the next one.
So for Mark, so the Best Fancy Dress Award. We decided to give this to Mark, who goes for a run with his turkey, who is named Bob. I checked before this. So Mark and his turkey Bob. I think he wore this on the festive run, didn't he, in December as well?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
This was a photo from an ultra that he did during February. And we thought that the picture was nice. He's carried the love heart. So yeah, Best Fancy Dress Award to Mark.
Yeah.
And the wood's named after the turkey, or is the turkey named after the wood? What came first?
Yeah, that's a bit of a chicken and egg sort of question, isn't it? Good stuff. Right, what are we on next? Is
Best brand placement. So we had to go with Rob Jeffries from the Derby Runner for this, simply because he brought Peak Running and Derby Runner together for Run for the Trees. There's a nice picture of him and Kev at the Brooks's Winter Bash, obviously matching the Derby runner to the Peak Running logos. And obviously we've got to also thank him for the nice 20% off that he gave lots of people during Run for the Trees. I know quite a lot of people used that as well and made good use of that, bought trainers. I think I was talking to a lady the other night that got herself a new waterproof coat. So yeah, I think lots of people have been grateful for that nice discount Rob gave us as well.
Yeah, thanks Rob, excellent. Okay, and now we're on to the various photo competitions, I think.
Okay. So these were the cover competitions, which changed the cover on the Peak Running community group on Facebook. So the first winner of the first competition was David with, I think I'm saying this right, is it the Firish Monument?
It looks like it, but I don't know for sure.
Okay, so this is in Scotland. And I think everybody commented on this photo and just said, wow, where is this? Until he kind of put us out of our misery and told us. And it is. I mean, he did say that there's lots of trees behind the monument the other way from where he came from, but the view out to it is quite empty of trees. But he did promise us that he'd gone through quite a lot of forest to get there.
There's
So
one in the corner. That's fine. We'll let that go.
There is
a
one
little tree in the corner.
Don't know if people see my cursor, but yeah. So yeah,
there is. Yeah.
David actually from the National Forest area moved up to Scotland not that long ago, but I don't know, probably the earlier part of the first lockdown, I think. So yeah. So he is from the exiled from the East Midlands up to the very north of Scotland. He's up north of Inverness somewhere. So yeah, thanks for getting involved, David. Thanks for the photograph. So that was competition number 1. So the second week, Danny, was,
we had a joint winner situation going on. And it wasn't a fix for anybody that is suspicious because it was Andy who won. So we did completely even votes between these two photos. So we did half of the week, one of them got to be the cover photo, and the other half of the week we did the other one. So first up was Jenny's with a sunrise with a lovely tree. And yeah, I think this one's just a lovely kind of postcard image. Really nice to Run for the Trees. And then Andy joint won that one with Brunches on the Bridge, which I think also it was also a deserving winner. It was I think you had a nice sunny brunch that morning, a special Run for the Trees one as well. So it's quite fitting that one also won the photo competition.
Yeah, I think Zoe's in that picture as well.
Yes, I am.
See him in a bit.
Yeah, I made it. The sun came out, you see, so I was there.
Yeah, that was the week we went to the Menorca site, which we'll chat about in a minute. So, and the third week.
The third week, we got Archie in Narnia, again by David. He submitted some great photos this month, or last month. Again, this one's in Scotland, a lovely snowy photo. And we did joke that Archie had got the challenge a little bit wrong, and rather than running for the trees, he was running with the trees. But it's in the right spirit. And again, this is another dog that was taking part in Run for the Trees. So thanks, Archie.
Well done. And then we had the final, the best of the best trees, didn't we? So
we did. So we did a last competition that I specified it had to be related to trees, because I think some of our others, they're lovely photos, but primarily the primary objects like the dog, for instance, are quite tree related. So we did had to be in some way related to trees. So we got these runners up. So Pascal, David, again, he snuck in there with an almost win. And Kev, I think Kev's is from the Winter Bash. And I think Passes is from a canal by the looks of it. I'm not sure when David's is actually, whether that's sunrise or sunset. I think maybe sunset.
I'm
not 100% sure
on the video. So
yeah. So they're the runners up, and then the winner, who got the most votes by quite a fair bit actually, was Michael with Robin Wood during the Winter Bash. So again, another Winter Bash shot. I just think this one's lovely. You can kind of imagine just being plonked on the trail and going running along it.
Yeah. I don't know if Mickey whether he was trying hard enough, if he's got time to stop in the race and take photographs.
That did occur to me, yeah.
Maybe, yeah, we can question him about that.
Yeah. It is when particularly when the sun's shining. The Robin Wood, the trails in there are very photogenic, aren't they? So
yeah, they are. It's a lovely image. So well done, Mickey, Michael, for winning that one.
Excellent. Okay, so that's all the community awards. So well done to everybody for getting involved in them. Before we go on to the runners awards, just going to chat with Zoe for a minute at the sort of what's going on in the National Forest, because you were with us when we did the brunch club run around the Menorca site where they're planting last year's trees, which is great. And you were out there yesterday as well, I believe.
Yes, yeah, I was, Andy. Yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, the trees from last year and actually this year will be planted at our newest acquisition. I say ours. I work for the National Forest Company, so we're sort of responsible for overseeing the development of the National Forest, and we actually own parcels of land within the forest. So recently, in the last couple of years, we actually purchased an old it's an old open cast site just down south, just down from sort of Measham, right on the southern border of the National Forest. And we're basically planting that up over the next, I don't know, 15 years or so. It's a huge site. I don't know, I can't remember how many hectares it is. I've been told, and I frequently forget. It's enormous. It's comprised of about 3 different sites, all kind of lumped together. And it will be sort of publicly accessible. It's kind of country park size, really, pretty huge. So we're just sort of starting out with the planting now. So yes, we had a visit there with the brunch runners a couple of weeks ago as a brunch run special, and found a particularly nice breakfast spot. I think, Andy, maybe it'll appear on the on the calendar for future years once.
Yeah, I'll be definitely going back there for some breakfast. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah. So yeah, I was actually out there yesterday looking at all these sort of rights of way and public access that we're going to be creating as part of it. So the site's not currently fully accessible, but it will be kind of over the coming years. So
yeah, there is a footpath through it at one side and a bridleway at the others. There's just not really many. You can't really loop around within the site yet, can you? But you will be able to.
Right. No, and it is pretty muddy as well. So it's one of those sites where, like a lot of the National Forest, where we've kind of got made up ground and it's all been sort of infilled. So it's got special qualities. So those who like mud will be very happy in the winter.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing just seeing it develop over the years, though, because I thought it was really cool that your colleague Simon, when we went out there, was sort of explaining. So I hadn't really thought about the fact that they've been in I guess in relatively recent times in the whole scheme of the planet sort of had done the open cast mining there and dug out all the coal, which originate from trees that were there thousands of years ago. So the fact that we're using that site now to plant trees, it's like we're going around the whole cycle again, aren't we?
That's right. Yeah, it's nice. It completes a circle, and actually, it's only fairly recently that the open cast work was completed and the land sort of reclaimed, really for reusing again.
Yeah. I think the other thing that I quite like from what you said as well is the fact that the site, it's not just going to be blanket covered in trees. There is still going to be some pasture land amongst it as well, so there'll still be sort of animals grazing there. So as you say, I could just sort of picture it very much like a country park. In a few years' time.
Yeah. I mean, that's certainly one thing that we're really trying hard to sort of promote at the National Forest, is to sort of stop people from thinking that it's just going to be wall-to-wall trees all over the place, and all you're doing is just putting trees over every single area of land. So within the forest area, I mean, it's a lived-in landscape. So we have got agricultural land that will stay as agricultural land because we need that to feed the planet. There will be towns and villages. There will be new housing growth. Woodlands, as you say, we're not just looking at one habitat. So it's the woodland creates sort of one sort of habitat, and then we'll have meadowland, we'll have open water. And really just trying to sort of make sure that we maximise the biodiversity benefits that we can kind of create there.
Yeah. I think the philosophy I love as well is the fact that it's, it's a forest that's designed to be accessible and used by people for their, I guess, their fitness and, sort of, physically and mentally as well, isn't it? In an area that, is quite a long way from any of the bigger national parks. You're just sort of creating something on people's doorsteps, aren't we? So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, what our intention is that, sort of at least, it's about 80% of the woodlands that are created have a level of public access to them. So that's not always just a public right of way. That's also including permissive routes, which means that you can sort of access different parts of different sites. And certainly, we are looking for opportunities always to try and create woodland close to where people live, so that it is on their doorstep and they don't have to just keep driving out places. That you can actually access nature, from your front door.
Yeah. And as people know, that obviously we put some suggested routes up for different lengths around different parts of the forest as part of the Run for the Trees. So hopefully people enjoy doing those. But there's lots of other routes that people can walk and run. You were telling me the other day, Zoe, on the National Forest website, there's some new leaflets going on there with different walks and stuff.
Yes, yeah. So we've promoted sort of a number of circular walks over the years, really. I've just been updating all those leaflets and making sure they're kind of current, and I've introduced a couple of new routes as well. So we've got pretty good coverage across the forest. All the routes lend themselves nicely to running as well as walking. So they sort of range from 5 to 15 miles. And of course, we've got the National Forest Way, which goes across the width of the forest, so from east to west or west to east, depending which way you go. 75 miles. So for those who like an ultra, crack on.
There you are. Yeah. I guess that's odd. You could do it in one go, or you can do it in sections, can't you? So
it's very handily broken up into stages. Yeah, so 12 stages make up the whole way, but yeah, you can lump them together and to suit yourself, really.
Yeah. Excellent. Yeah. So exciting times in the forest. It's great watching it
absolutely
develop. So cool. Thanks for that, Zoe.
No problem.
Right. Shall we resume the awards and see what people have been doing running wise? Try and share my screen again. So the running awards. I'm trying to work out who that is in that picture, Danny. Do you know whose picture that was? Is that Vanessa?
I think it's definitely Vanessa. I'm not sure who she's with in it. They put it in as it was a very close runner-up for the photo competition that Archie won, Dog in Narnia. It was a very close second, this one was, and I thought I've got to use it somewhere because it is funny.
Yeah, I think it's
apt with all the storms we've had as well. It's quite a nice.
Sums up February, doesn't it? Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that it just really sums up February 2022, doesn't it? The month of named storms. Okay, so as first up was the fastest known tree. So repeating this for the second year in the chop was Kate Jaden, who by day 8 had already earned an Oak Challenge.
Absolutely staggering, isn't it?
Yeah. And as those in the community might know, Kate was doing this during a period that's part of a bigger challenge that she's doing. She's on a mission to run 100 marathons in 100 days that started back on the 1st of January. So she's on day 60 something at the moment. The idea being it's the equivalent of running from Syria to the UK, the journey that a refugee would have to take. So she's doing some great fundraising around that. It's all focused on fundraising. And she's actually launched, she had something on the Peak Running page, it's in the Peak Running community in the last couple of days. She's launched a virtual challenge herself in March. So if people are sort of a bit restless for something to do now, Run for the Trees has started, have a look at that. It's a great cause, and I guess particularly apt with the sort of new refugee crisis that is sort of arising out of the horrible situation in Ukraine at the moment. So well done, Kate. Best of luck. I know she's finding it there's been some really tough days at the moment, but I'm sure if anybody can get through these 100 marathons, she can. She's certainly throwing everything at it. And not far behind, I think he might have only been about a day behind, wasn't he, Mark? Danny?
I think he was a couple of days behind. Yeah, right. maybe 3 days behind, I think.
Yeah. So not far behind, but Mark, so he's quite prolific with his mileage. So well done, Mark, as well. So along with your Turkey Fancy Dress Award, an FKT on its way to you. Okay, so in terms of the individual racers in the virtual race series, I was going to chat about the male winners first. So in the shortest distance, the sapling sprint, which was just 1K, that was Chris Bye in a cracking 3 minutes 26 seconds. So well done for that, Chris. Moving up through the distances, so the 2 mile, the solo Starlight, was John Seaward. Well done with that, John. Just did 11 minutes 35. John supporting this again. He's done a number of our events, but he was based down in West Wales, I believe. So well done, John, and thanks for getting involved. And the PR, so the sort of part run distance. This was a late entrance. He sort of swept to the top of the leaderboard right at the very end of it. It was Joe Goodwin in a brilliant 18:33. So well done, Joe. I don't know if we did that. I don't know whether that was a part run or we just done it his own. Do you know, Danny?
He'd done it during all 3 of the entries that he put in were during Feb. One of them was quite early on like the 4th. I'm not sure whether that was a part run or not. I did see the evidence he put in for it, and I can't recall, but I don't think it was a part run.
Yeah, just gone out and done his own virtual race.
Wow.
Either way, well done, Joe.
Those times are staggering, aren't they? I mean, I couldn't even do 1 kilometre at that pace at the moment.
No, so pretty fast times, And then in the half bash to 5 mile, that was also Joe in 33:24. So going quite a lick in that as well. I
think he's got some new fancy trainers.
You reckon? He's got some carbon in them.
Or ones with rockets on them, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, he was well up the field. It was 4th in the Winter Bash on Sunday. I don't think the carbon trainers have done a lot of good around the Winter Bash route No. And the personal bash, so the 10 miles, was John Seaward again, in a cracking 65 minutes and 48 seconds. So well done again for that, John. So that wasn't on the bash route. That was, I would imagine, down in Wales somewhere. And moving up through the distances, Darren Cresswell in the half marathon for the trees distance in 1 hour 48:28. So well done, Darren. Great running there. The double bash was Ray Evans in just over 3.5 hours, 3:32:29. Well done, Ray. And Ray also in the marathon for the trees, knocking out a full marathon there in 4:41. So well done again for that, Ray.
Do you know if any of them did they use all the routes that we'd suggested, or were they just or whatever was local to them, I presume?
Yeah, I think a lot of them were local to them. There was a few people have posted that they did the route. I don't know if Darren's might have been.
Darren did at
half marathon for the trees. Yeah, I think I saw a picture in Bradgate Park that he'd taken. So
not a bad time over that terrain then.
No, definitely not. And then into the 2 ultras. So Mark did the Sir Wilfrid's Challenge, which is based on the Ivanhoe Way in the National Forest. Although he didn't do it on the Ivanhoe Way. Mark's based over in Lincolnshire, so it'd be quite a way for him to travel. Although he does travel quite a lot for his runs. He did join us during it for the Wayfarer that we did around Bradgate and Beacon.
Brilliant. I'd say he struggled to do that time over all those styles around here.
Yes, yeah. So pretty good time, 8 hours 6:46. Well done, Mark. And in the whole forest, so the 75 miles, there was a bit of story to this because he was going to do it right up in the Dart Peak area on the weekend earlier. Which was the weekend all the named storms hit. So he reduced it and did a 36 that weekend, and then went back and did the 75 in Cheshire last weekend. Was Sean Rousel in just over 25 hours. So great effort, Sean. Somebody else who's doing fundraising at the moment, you might have seen his posts around that. He's got quite a few various challenges lined up, supporting some great causes. And Sean was the only person this year to finish the Forest Slam. So
wow.
he did all 10 races. So obviously he won. As the only finisher of the whole Forest of 75 mile an hour, he won that one. But he placed some pretty good positions in some of the other races as well. So fantastic work, Sean. And
Well done. That's brilliant.
Forest Slam Award will be on its way to you.
That's great. So how many trees is that contributed to then? A small forest, isn't it?
Yeah, he's also got a forest in his own right, hasn't he?
Little copse.
Yeah. Brilliant stuff. So we'll go on to the women. Oh, we won't. We'll stick with it. Sorry, the series. So Mark did the obviously the slam, doing all the races, but there was also a prize for the series. So the best 6 results to count, the person that got the lowest number of points based on their positions. So with 2 wins in the races and positioning quite well in a number of the others, the winner of the series was Ray. So well done for that, Ray. So award. So I'll get right this time. So yeah, we will get on to the women this time. So on the marathon for the trees, there's a reason I've sort of gone straight to the marathon, was Kate, one of her 100 marathons, fairly early in the month in a cracking time of 3 hours 42. So actually the fastest marathon overall posted during the series as well. They've not all been as quick as that, but yeah, she was certainly running well that day. So if you're wondering where all the other female prizes went to for all the other races, it was basically because Sarah Simmons won them all.
You wiped the floor.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that.
Yeah, she running really well at the moment, Sarah. So she was the first female in the sapling sprint 1K, the solo starlight 2 miles, the PRPR 5K, and the personal bash. And she was actually first overall. The fastest times overall over the half bash, the half marathon for the trees, and the double bash. So so she got a 5K PB during that 18:52, and last Sunday that 1 hour 23, the half marathon down south at Wokingham, is a cracking time. So it didn't take us long to work out who the winner of the series was for the women there, did it? So
that's amazing. I hear she's got a fairly decent coach as well, has she?
Oh, I wouldn't know anything about that.
That's well done, Sarah. That's amazing.
Yeah, she's
well done, Sarah.
She's trained really hard this last few months after some health issues last year. So
and she's posted some lovely photos and been very encouraging to everybody else in the community group the whole month as well. So she's been really active on there. Definitely. Definitely a well-deserved win there.
Yeah, good stuff. So that's the end of our awards. So they're in the process of being made. Our friends at Just Wood in Burton, who will make all these things for us, are busy beavering away, doing the remaining coasters and all those awards. So as soon as we have them, we'll get them out to people. So that, as they say, I guess is a wrap for Run for the Trees 2022.
Super.
Well, sad.
Yeah. What do we do now?
Yeah, go for a run or something. Yeah. But yeah, as I said at the start, sort of really pleased so many people got involved, and I guess at the moment, I think it feels like it should continue as an annual thing. A few people that I've run with during the guided runs and have talked to otherwise during the month have said it's helped motivate them get out for a run when they might not have otherwise. When during this sort of what can be a pretty grey month, and it's certainly been grey at times this last month. So yeah,
fantastic. Yeah, no, thanks so much for everyone for taking part and contributing to a bit more of the forest as well.
Cool. All right. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you out on the trails at some point.
See you on the trails.
So Cheers.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.